Alright, everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So, like I promised, was it yesterday? No, day before. I took a break yesterday, but we're back at recording today. Like I promised, we're going to go through Akane-Banashi, some more Yona of the Dawn. Maybe I want to get through Lazarus first. So, depending on if I have enough time, I'll get around to Yona, or yeah, we'll see. Will be at least one read through coming out today as well. Unfortunately, Spy Family is still on break for 2 more weeks. I thought we were getting a new chapter today, but apparently not. So that's a bit of a bummer, but we still got some other great content coming your way. So look forward to that. Before we dive into Akane-Banashi here, as always, if you haven't already, please consider like, commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff. Like I mentioned, a lot of good content coming to the channel. So if you found something out here you already like, give the other series a gander. You might find something else that you find that you're really into. A lot of good series on the channel, so check it out already. Like I mentioned, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, because YouTube's algorithm really loves it, because that's the way it chooses which videos to promote. So if you want to help me out with that, that'd be greatly appreciated. Without further ado, let us dive into Akane-Banashi Story 50, Master's Desire, with story by Yuki Sonaga and art by Takamasa Moe, with Rakugo supervision by Keiki Hayashiya, translation by Stephen Paul, and lettering by Sneer Aran. And we see, you're right, there's already a news article about the Oroku Meikai from 2 days ago. And you see the Oroku Meikai Rakugo event was held on Sunday, June 18th at Mitsugo Hall in Ginza. The personal event of popular Futatsume Rokuro Kashiwaya was sold out. The first Rakugoka to perform was Akane Arakawa, something of last summer's student championship, so it says winner of last summer's student championship. The Karaku Cup performed the story, And we see that Urara and Myra are talking about it. As Urara goes, "They're making such a big deal about you. Are you worried you'll get singled out again?" And Akane's like, "Actually, it's been just the opposite. Everyone's been a lot nicer to me since the article came out." And you see the man who actually held this time doing like a little peace sign, as you see a reporter bro whose name I will not remember until he becomes more of a recurring character. And she's like, "And I'm getting more opportunities to perform." And Myra's thinking, I guess being invited to perform at their event helped her overcome the controversy. And she just imagines the kind of be like, "Yeah!" As Hasho and Rokuro are sitting behind her, be like, "This girl's alright." And Akane's like, "Thank you so much for your help." He's like, "But," so I think that's Urara going, "But it looks like you lost. The article says that the greatest applause of the day went to Rokuro Kashiwaya, even though you learned from me." She's like, "I'm so sorry." It's like, now. And so Myra asks, "Was Master Hasho going to teach you a story next?" Kane's like, "He is! I'm going to his place for a session later today." And you hear, "I'm just struggling to understand something. I know that you want to increase your repertoire of Zenza-Banashi, but do you really want to learn Hasho-kun's Hirabayashi that badly?" And Myra's like, "Oh, after all that, she's being mean and picking on her again." And Akane's like, "Master, believe it or not, I actually get scolded a lot." And both Urara and Myra are like, "I'm not surprised." And Akane is like, "I've received more than my share of harsh comments, but the sterner their comments, the clearer it was that they had my best interest in mind. So even more than wanting to learn a story from him, I just wanted to prove to Master Hasho that I'm worthy of him, because if not, then I can't progress as a Rakugoka." And Urara's like, "Well, you've said what you needed to say. Go on and get to your practice." And then I think Akane's going, "No, there's one more thing. What is it that you desire?" And Urara's like, "Ah, yes, we did talk about that. Very well, I'll tell you. My desire is for the name Urara Ransaika to leave a mark on history as a Miyoseki. Those are the names of especially renowned Rakugoka which are then reused within their school for generations afterward. The very first female Shinichi did not come until the Heisei era, barely 30 years ago. And there are still no Miyoseki that bear the names of female Rakugo performers." And Akane's like, "So you want to be the first ever?" It's like, "Indeed. Just think about it. The peak of prestige that every female Rakugoka seeks to reach. bearing my name. There can't be a better way to get back at all those fools who said a woman can't do Rakugo. That is my desire. Oh, I love it. Love it. Love it. Oh, I love her so much. Oh, I love spiteful people. I love it so much. And Akane's like, Miyoseki, to leave your name as a Rakugoka in history. And then she's like imagining herself like all glamorous, like, Miyoseki, the first Akane Arakawa. I was like, that's so cool. And Urara's like, were you just thinking I want to do that too? And Akane's like, huh? It's like unbelievable. I've never seen someone have that reaction before. It's like, but if you really want to turn your name into Miyoseki, you should at least be the best of your generation. You must understand who you need to surpass. And then she thinks back to a speech she had with conversation she had with Rokuro, who's like, if you want to compete, do it with him, not me. The only one in the younger generation who actually frightens me is Kaisei. Yes. Oh, I love it. And Akane's like, yes, I understand. And Urara just watches her for a second before she goes, well, what are you doing? Shouldn't you be visiting Hasho-kun? And she's like, huh? Oh, crap. It's like, I'm sorry, I gotta run. Thank you very much. And Urara's going, so you want to be a Miyoseki, but do you realize that could cause a permanent parting of the ways? Oh, interesting. And you see like a black divide between her master and Isho. And you see later at Hasho's place you have, so, are you ready for this? It's like, yes, I'm fully prepared. It's like, in that case, just a brief note before we start. I'm taking a Rakugo story that has been refined over dozens, if not hundreds of hours, and passing it on to a new generation free of charge. This is how Rakugo has been passed down through the ages. You're going to learn many more Rakugo stories this way over the course of your life. I just want you to keep in mind how much effort has gone into refining each one over time, even if you don't see it. It's like, that's all. I suppose that was a bit grandiose. She's like, no, I understand what you mean. It's like, nobody wants their friend treated badly. And I don't know if that's his wife or who, but see this woman going, friend. She's kind of just smirk laughing. And Akane's like, I will humbly practice my hardest. And Hasho's like, very good then, let's begin. You have a yes, master. You see back with Urara, she's playing some pool. And you have, so what did you think of Akane? It's like, she's on the hook. I'll keep her around depending on how she develops. And she asks me, like, what's that look for? You know what I always say. I don't care who inherits my name as long as they're good enough. And it's possible to take the Miyoseki of a different school if necessary. Which means that even you could take over my name. Nice. Hikaru Karagi, and you see Hikaru is coming in. And she goes, if you pardon me, when I'm acting as a Rakugoka, my name is Hikaru Arakawa. And Urara's like, no, pardon me. Are you sure you didn't want to see her again? And she's like, no, it's fine. There's no need to rush. I'll be facing off against her very soon. Nice. Oh, that's good. Alright. So yeah, not a lot to talk about with this chapter. I think the most interesting part of it was most definitely learning what Urara's goal was. And again, like learning more about like Rakugo, cultures and like traditions and everything else. So knowing that, you know, there is kind of like a peak that people aspire to reach is definitely gonna make things a lot more interesting. I do wonder, because Akane kind of like, yeah, Akane's like, oh, you know, that'd be really cool, but it doesn't seem like she really had like a huge reaction to the idea of becoming a Miyoseki. So I'm curious if they're going to be seeing that later on, if she's going to become more ambitious with regards to that or not. But yeah, interesting little tidbit that I liked and that we learned. Again, I love Urara, who's just like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to show all those old bastards that, you know, a woman can reach the top. Like I said, I love spiteful people, so definitely speaks to me a lot. Love that. Can't wait to see more of her throughout the series. But I do love how much they're building up Kaisei, especially as the antagonist seems like a little bit too harsh of a term to use with him, but I think it fits with like the way Rokuro's like, oh, the one who actually frightens me is this guy. So I'm curious to see more of his skill as well. I'm also curious, 'cause I'm gonna have to go back and reread some earlier stuff, but I want to go back to see if there's more specifically between Akane's teacher, whose name I cannot remember for now, and also Isho, like what exactly the parting of the ways that Urara's talking about, unless it just means that Akane's gonna like leave his school and go over to Isho's instead. But I think that's still quite a ways away, so I don't think we have to worry about that now. But I do again that we're setting up like more rivalries and competitors for Akane, which kind of brings me to the thing. Like I'm hoping we do see like the competitors actually starting to best Akane in some of these competitions or competitions coming up. Because again, thus far in the story, Akane hasn't really had much difficulty circumventing any of the challenges, not circumventing, overcoming any of the challenges she's been presented with. So I'm hoping we get to a point where we see some of her rivals start to overtake her, or at least start providing more of a challenge for her. So we'll see what happens with that. But like, I do love where I was just like stoking the fires with Hikari or Hikaru as well, being like, hey, if you want to take my name as well, I don't really care. So I'm not like, I'm not solely in Akane's corner. I'm just like trying to bring up the next generation, which again makes sense with their whole goal. It makes sense that she would be trying to uplift as many women as possible in the profession. So again, really, really love that part. I'm curious as to what Hikaru means about, I'll be facing off against her very soon, but we'll see. Very much transitionary chapter, but I'm looking forward to where this arc is gonna go from here. Looking forward to it. So as always, like I mentioned at the beginning, if you like my content, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Like I mentioned, YouTube's algorithm really loves it when you push those buttons because it tells it that these videos are worth promoting, which helps me out a lot as a creator. So if you'd like to do that, that'd be greatly appreciated. Like I mentioned, expect at least one read through today, either of Lazarus or Yona, potentially both, depending on what I decide. Till next time, this is Ash. Talk to you all later.